Washington, D.C. The walls of compassion shook once more as Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, stood shoulder to shoulder with global leaders from Movember, the world's leading men's mental health movement. In a candid, heartwarming moment that blended purpose, authenticity, and unfiltered humanity, the prince radiated warmth and empathy, reminding the world once again why he remains one of the most admired changemakers of his generation. The moment captured was more than just an image. It was a testament to transformation, to the power of vulnerability, and to the courage of a man who has turned pain into purpose. Prince Harry was pictured in deep, uplifting conversation with the global director and key figures of the Movember team. Their smiles wide, their energy radiant, their unity undeniable. Each shared glance in that room carried meaning, a collective commitment to men's mental well-being, the dismantling of stigma, and the redefinition of strength for a modern generation of men and boys who have too long been told to tough it out in silence. Last week's launch of a major report in partnership with Prince Harry marked a defining milestone in this movement, one that capped months of research, dialogue, and advocacy. The report didn't just surface data, it told stories. It held the voices of men from across the world, fathers, brothers, sons, and friends, each speaking into a shared truth that mental health deserves the same urgency as physical well-being. And at the heart of it stood Prince Harry, steady and sincere, lending his name, his voice, and his lived experience to the cause. This wasn't just another public engagement for the Duke. It was a continuation of his life's work, one deeply rooted in empathy and action. From his early advocacy for wounded veterans through the Invictus Games to his honest discussions about grief and trauma, Prince Harry has become a global symbol of emotional courage. His presence with Movember symbolized not just partnership, but alignment, two forces united by a shared mission, to change how the world talks about, understands, and supports men's mental health. Inside that meeting room, laughter intertwined with purpose. The atmosphere was not heavy with statistics, but light with hope. Movember's global director, visibly moved, spoke of how this collaboration with Prince Harry had brought an unstoppable wave of visibility to the issues that too often remain hidden in the dark. Together, they discussed the barriers facing men and boys, cultural expectations, generational silence, and the need for early intervention. But also, the pathways forward. Pathways of compassion. Pathways of connection. In this era of noise, cynicism, and shallow headlines, Prince Harry has quietly, yet powerfully, rewritten the definition of leadership. His leadership doesn't shout, it listens. It doesn't posture, it acts. It doesn't divide, it heals. And the partnership with Movember stands as one of his most resonant undertakings, a project that speaks directly to the heart of humanity. The world has watched Prince Harry grow, from a young royal into a man who speaks truth to power, from a soldier to a father, from a figure of fascination to a voice of inspiration. Through each chapter, one thread has remained constant, his profound belief that mental health is not weakness, it is strength in its truest form. That belief echoed throughout the room, carried in every word exchanged, every smile shared, and every promise made. What began as a campaign now feels like a movement reborn, a revolution of heart, awareness, and action. And standing in the center of it, Prince Harry proved once again that his mission transcends title or tradition. It's about legacy, one that uplifts others and dares to heal generations of men who were once told to hide their tears. That moment, the shared laughter, the eye contact, the clasped hands, told a story larger than words could hold. For years, Prince Harry has been a beacon for those struggling silently, often voicing the unspoken realities many men suppress. His journey from grief to growth has been public, raw, and revolutionary. He has not just spoken about mental health, he has lived its truth, confronting his own pain after losing his mother, Princess Diana, and transforming it into advocacy that has changed millions of lives. What makes this new partnership so remarkable is not just its reach, but its authenticity. Movember has always symbolized the moustache as a global conversation starter. But now, with Prince Harry's involvement, it has evolved into a full-bodied dialogue about empathy, identity, and the freedom to feel. Harry doesn't stand in front of causes, he stands within them. He embodies the message he delivers, proving that vulnerability is not a liability, it's a bridge to healing. Each man in that room knew the weight of that message. They knew they were standing beside a figure who had dismantled one of the world's most traditional narratives, that men must always appear strong, stoic, unshaken. Prince Harry has flipped that narrative entirely, showing that the strongest thing a man can do is to open up, seek help, and encourage others to do the same. The Movember report itself was historic, a comprehensive, data-rich exploration of what men face daily. But beyond the numbers lay the human stories, stories that resonated deeply with Prince Harry's lifelong advocacy. Veterans struggling to reintegrate, fathers overwhelmed by expectation, young men unsure how to express their fears. These were not abstract figures to Harry. They were faces he had seen, voices he had heard, lives he had touched through years of hands-on compassion. As he engaged with the Movember team, Harry's body language spoke volumes, relaxed yet intentional, his smile constant, his tone warm and encouraging. Observers described the atmosphere as transformative, saying that the Duke's presence brought not tension, but release. The sense that the future of men's mental health was finally being handled with heart, not hesitation. One of Movember's senior researchers, in a private reflection shared after the meeting, said, "It's rare to meet someone who carries both influence and empathy in equal measure. Prince Harry has both, and he uses them responsibly." That statement captures the essence of why this collaboration feels so impactful. Because this isn't charity, it's change, and it's deeply personal. Harry's journey has always mirrored the struggles of countless others. The anxiety of being misunderstood, the loss that reshapes one's sense of self, the resilience that comes from confronting the truth, no matter how painful. By partnering with Movember, Harry is helping craft a new narrative, one where men no longer hide behind walls of silence, but step into light, conversation, and community. The Duke's approach to advocacy is strikingly human. He does not preach, he shares. He does not dictate, he listens. And that humility, that ability to connect, is what sets him apart from traditional figures of influence. As the conversation continued in Washington, it was clear that this wasn't about ceremony or cameras. It was about impact, connection, and enduring purpose. The Movember team emphasized how this collaboration would drive global conversations across schools, workplaces, and digital platforms, empowering boys and men to take ownership of their mental well-being. Prince Harry, ever the visionary, spoke of the importance of early intervention, of teaching young boys that feelings aren't flaws. His words were not rehearsed, they were real, drawn from years of lived experience and hard-earned wisdom. As the session concluded, the Duke stayed behind, speaking quietly with several attendees. No cameras, no press, just genuine human moments. A nod here, a handshake there, and above all, the quiet assurance that this wasn't the end of a meeting, but the start of a movement renewed. The following day, photos from the gathering began circulating online, and the internet responded with a swell of admiration. "Prince Harry, changing the narrative again," one fan wrote. Another commented, "This man is leading with love, not ego." The tone was clear. The world sees him not as a distant royal, but as a relatable human being, one who has weathered storms, faced judgment, and still chooses compassion. Movember's official statement after the event reflected that same sentiment. "Working with Prince Harry reminds us all that leadership is not about power, it's about purpose," the statement read. "Together we're reshaping what it means to be a man." And truly, That is the legacy of this moment, a redefining of masculinity. No longer bound by the cold rigidity of outdated ideals, but expanded into something dynamic, gentle, and whole. For Prince Harry, this is not a new path. It's the continuation of a lifelong calling. His work through Heads Together, his leadership in the Archewell Foundation, his unflinching conversations about therapy and emotional wellness, each chapter adds to the same story. The story of a man who chose healing over hiding, empathy over ego, truth over tradition. That's why this partnership resonated so profoundly across borders. Because it wasn't just about Britain or America, it wasn't about royalty or celebrity, it was about humanity. It was about the universal truth that mental health matters, that every man deserves to be heard, supported, and loved. As the sun set over Washington, D.C. that day, the echoes of the conversation lingered. Prince Harry had once again shown that his influence isn't measured by royal protocol, but by the lives he touches, the stigma he dismantles, and the courage he inspires. For the men who will read that Movember report, perhaps it will be the first time they see their struggles reflected in words. For some, it will be the first time they realize that seeking help doesn't make them weak, it makes them brave. And for those watching from afar, Prince Harry's example remains a guiding light, a reminder that no matter how public or private our pain may be, healing is possible when we choose to face it together. That image, Harry surrounded by advocates, smiling and open-hearted, will endure as a symbol of change, a symbol that in a world often dominated by noise and division, true leadership still looks like empathy, humility, and love in action. Prince Harry did not just attend that meeting, he transformed it. He turned a conference room into a sanctuary of hope, a place where vulnerability became a shared strength. And from that moment, a renewed movement was born, one that carries his fingerprints, his heart, and his promise to keep fighting for every man and boy still struggling to find his voice. Because at its core, this is not about Harry alone. It's about us all. It's about the fathers who need space to cry, the sons who need words to express fear, the veterans who need arms to lean on, and the brothers who need brothers. The world will remember that day, not for speeches or ceremonies, but for the quiet, powerful reminder that compassion changes everything. And in that reminder, Prince Harry continues to prove that his greatest legacy will not be titles or honours, but healing, for himself, for others, and for generations to come.
The submission itself sounds nice. And to my amazing and peculiar Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos and tuning in to Daily Diaries Friday's update. Keep it light, keep it there, and see you next time in our next episode. Bye bye. May you have a good day and a good time. Keep shining. Bye bye.